Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic Rider. So today I'm here to talk about hobbles. What are hobbles? Hobbles are straps that you put around your horse's front legs. And when I start to teach the horse to do this, I like to make sure there's some cushion inside, because there are some rope ones and some leather ones that might be easier to carry on your saddle, but it's best to teach the horse with some cushion in there in case they overreact when you first start teaching them. The hobbles you're going to hook to the front legs, and the reason that you're going to do this is to teach your horse different things. So one, it teaches your horse to stand patiently and not to paw. A lot of people have problems with a horse pawing, and I get many horses in that paw because they're impatient and then the owner does nothing to correct it, or they reward when they're pawing. And then even though we can fix it, sometimes the owners still have problems with it. When you put these on their horse's front legs, they can't really lift them up very high. And therefore you can stop the cycle of the pawing and reteach the horse to stand still and stand patiently. But you will have to do it over and over again until they're sure cannot paw anymore and the habit is broke. The other things it teaches your horse is if your horse gets his foot tangled in something, that he should stand patiently and wait for someone to help him. You know, we put these on the horse and then you can leave them once they're trained and they understand to stand still with it, and then you're the one who is taking them off, so that is the reward. So that teaches the horse that if something is on their leg and they get stuck, that hopefully they will just stand there and wait for you to come help them instead of them yanking their leg out and ripping their leg up on like a barbed wire fence. Some of you might feel that hobbling a horse is mean. It is not mean. It teaches the horse to be confined, to be patient, and not to panic. So it does many good things. But if you do not teach your horse those things, then the horse may become a chronic pawer. They may get their foot stuck in things, and they might panic and really rip their leg up. So I think it's a very good thing to teach your horse. Besides that, if you ever get somewhere and you want the horse to stay still or ground tie, you put these on, and then every time you're going to ground tie them, you drop the rope on the ground, and this will help you to teach that faster, that when that rope is on the ground, they understand their feet can't move, and then they will just stand and wait for you instead of running off, which I've seen many horses do because the people think that the horses are ground tied well, and they really have not learned it that well. All right, so I have Tilly here. I don't think she's ever been hobbled before. The precursors, what you want to make sure that your horse understands first is that it's a horse that is desensitized, so they're not panicked, that you can put ropes around their legs and they don't freak out from any of those things before you put these on. When you put these on, they do have to be tight enough. They don't come undone, or they can't slip their foot out of it. Yeah, these are for you. And then you want to do it in a big area where they can't get hurt, and I always keep them on a rope. They're not running around with them on. Now they can't really run, but they can hop, because they can, if they're smart, lift those front feet up and kind of keep leaping and launching themselves. So we are trying to teach them to stand, so we're going to use that rope to help keep them safe when they're learning, and also for them to understand that they're supposed to stay still and not hop around. And you want that rope long enough. I'm going to use a 16-foot rope. You want that rope long enough that if they do something or rear up or start leaping, that they're not going to hurt you. Okay, so I'm going to back up because there's a big puddle here, and we're going to do it a little bit further back. And these are what they look like. You can get them on Amazon. I'll leave you a link below. There's some goats over there, right? You don't like the goats. I'll leave you some links below, so if you want to get hobbles for your horse, you'll know which kind to get. Okay, first make sure, I've done all this, that you can put ropes around your horse's legs. If you can't even do that, you don't want to put a hobble on it, because you're not trying to teach the horse to panic with these on. You're trying to teach the horse to accept it and be calm. So make sure you can put the ropes around their legs well, that you can pull on their leg and they're not panicking. So Tilly's okay with these. She doesn't seem to mind the rope at all. So you're putting putting it around the horse's ankle. So again, you're going down their leg and it's the hobble is around their ankle. I can't get in the little keeper here, so I'm just going to leave it out, but normally it goes in that little keeper. But it's kind of swelled up because of the weather. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stand here a little bit, and then I'm going to try and move her some so she understands her legs are tied. And so again, if we're going to get a reaction, it's in here and not out there. Tilly does paw a fair amount. Somewhere she picked that up. And so once I have that she has learned this really well, then every time I tie her up, I'm going to start putting these on her so she doesn't paw. I don't like horses to paw. One, it's annoying, but two, when they do that, they can dig up the ground, they can rip up your footing, and they can also get their leg caught on things if they're pawing. Now, it's good to wear gloves because if the horse does take off or something like that, it's very hard to hold a rope in your bare hands and not get rope burn. Right, Tilly? Okay, so she's standing well. Right, but let's try to move her a little bit and see how she does. Now see, she fell down, and a lot of you panic. Oh my God, she fell down. We all fall down. Horses fall down, but all she did was fall down on this surface right here. So she understood that she can't move her legs very much at all. Now some of the hobbles have longer and chains in them, and some of them have less. It's better to have a little less so they can't move their feet that much, and then they'll just stand still. So with these, she can move them a little bit, but not too much. So I'm going to back her up a little bit, because I want her to understand how these work. She's a little afraid to move her foot. Good girl. Good girl. So I want her to understand she can still move a little bit. Good girl. Now I'd like her just to stand a little bit more even. Good girl. Now, when you try to teach them to stand there, you want the rope to be on the ground because that's ground time, okay? So I'm going to put the rope on the ground, I'm going to pet her, and I'm going to start walking around her. But I'm going to keep my hand on her so she knows exactly where I am. Now I'm going to give her a word so she understands, and I'm going to start moving farther away. So you can do the same thing you do with your dog. Stay. And then I'm going to start moving around her, you know? So if she follows me, good girl. Good girl, stay. Stay. And I might have to tell her over and over again, stay. Stay. So if you see a move, just pause and tell them. Okay. Now I'm going to keep moving farther away. Stay. So she really didn't panic with these on. She just tried to move and then she fell down. But I want you to see that because I don't want you to panic if your horse does that. They'll figure it out. Stay. Good girl. So now I'm going to go back over and pet her and reward her. Good job. And let her know she's doing a good job. And now I'm going to walk around her the other way. Good job. You did so good. You're a good girl. Okay. So I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to keep my hand on her. Yeah, good girl. Stay. Then I'm slowly going to get farther away from her. We do have some flies. That's what she's kicking at. Stay. So this is going to make your horse better broke, but patient, and less panicky if something happens with its legs. Good girl. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to start to add a little bit more stimulus now that she's used to me walking around. Stay. Because wherever I put her, I want her to stay there no matter what I do. Whatever I do one way, I always do the other way. Stay. So she's testing. There she goes. Back. So I'm just putting her back where I had her. Come on, back. You see, she's a little impatient. She's like, I don't want to stand here anymore. Stay. So I'm just starting over again. Back. Bring your foot. Good girl. Stay. So I want her balanced every time I put her back. I'm trying to make her feet even. Good girl. Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay, so now I'm going to take these off. I'm going to tie Tilly up. We'll see if she paws, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do when she paws with these. Again, when I'm going to walk them, I want them completely off. So that way she understands when she's in them, she stays still. When they're off, then she can move. Okay, so this is what Tilly usually does. And she'll stop when I come up because she knows she'll get in trouble or I'll put her feet to work. But if I walk away, this is what she does. And, you know, it's anxiety, but it's also her demanding that she doesn't want to be there. It's her way of protesting instead of just standing still. Okay, so I'm going to put the hobbles on so you can see what she can do then. Okay, so now she has the hobbles on. I'm going to move further away because, again, she usually won't do it when I'm standing close. And then we'll see if she'll try. She did move it once as I was getting up and walking away, so she might have already figured it out. So there she's trying. She's like, Gaye. So, and it's okay, they're going to try, they're going to test, they might even have a temper tantrum and, you know, they could rear up. So you're trying to stay close by so you can watch them in case they do get in trouble, that you can get them out of it. She's on an Aussie tie ring, so I can get that rope out of there very quick if I need to. I can just yank on it and get it loose. But you're always trying to make sure that you're there and close by in the beginning. And then when she's good, I'm going to work other horses in the arena while she's tied up, so I'll still be able to see where she is, and if she's having any issues, again, I could go right over to her to help her. Now she's mad. Okay, so now she's gone to chewing on the rope. So, and I don't expect her not to try. A horse that's been pawing, and maybe she's been pawing all her life, I'm not sure. She's 14 or 15 years old, I forget. They're gonna try. It's not like they're all of a sudden miraculously go, oh, I can't move my feet at all. They're gonna test it because it's a habit. And so their brain is telling them, move your feet, move your feet, move your feet, because that's what she always did. So she's gonna test it over and over again until she's sure that she can't lift her feet up. Okay, she was testing them again. Okay, so now I just worked another horse in the arena and watched her, and then when I took him out here, she did rear up a little bit, and then I'm going to take him farther away and see how she handles it. But I'm always going to make sure I'm near enough that I can get back over to her. But you see, she's not pawing anymore. I walked by with her friend, and then she had a little meltdown. And what she did was rear up. She didn't rear up high, but they can still rear up, so you have to be aware that you'll see I had the door open before, but when I started moving farther away from her, I shut that door because you want to make sure there's nothing they could possibly get their legs hung up on if they do rear up. So let me keep walking away and we'll see if she has another little hissy fit. Yep, that did it. So that's why you want to make sure there's nothing around them that they can get their legs on, which there isn't there. She can't do anything. So we're going to go a little further. And I'm not going to bring him back over until she settles down. So come on, buddy. I'm going to let him graze a little more while she goes through her temper tantrum. And you never want to get them, you know, unless they're caught or something, but you never want to go over when they're throwing a fit. You know, it's just like a child. Let them go through the fit. Let them see, you know, there's nothing they can do about it. They just got to deal with the situation. Mr. Nichols is like, this is how I deal with the situation. I'm taking advantage. I'm going to graze. She's like, this is bull, you know what. So I remember in a child, this is like a kid on the ground, pounding, crying, screaming. You know, don't feed into it. Don't reward them for bad behavior. She's like, how do I untie myself? She's like, I'm so smart, I gotta figure this out. I gotta get out of here. Oh, gotta get out. So again, this is the first day I've done this, so she's got to go through a lot, you know, a bunch of bull until she figures out there's no getting out of it, and she's just got to give in and learn to be a patient horse. But I'm gonna have to do this over and over again until there's no fight when I put her in those things. Because again, you could see if a horse got their leg snagged, and this is what they did, they reared up and pulled back, they'll rip their leg up. So the only way to get out of it is to stand patiently, and when she does that, that's when I'll go back over and undo her. Okay, so now Tilly's standing very patiently, even though her friend's over there. And so now I'm going to take her hobbles off, which are still on. I'm going to take those off, and I'm going to take her out and graze her as a reward for standing here. And she's been here probably half hour, 45 minutes. So make sure you keep them tied there long enough that they get through the temper tantrum. So this is not something you want to try when you only have 15 minutes to work with your horse. You want to make sure you have a couple of hours. And then again, remember when you tie them up, make sure it's somewhere safe where they can't get their legs hooked, where they can't get their rope tangled, and that where they are footing wise is not like on cement where they could slip if they rear up. You want somewhere safe and a little bit soft, so if they did fall or do something that they're not going to get hurt.